Have you ever noticed how some people say sorry even when they did absolutely nothing wrong? Someone bumps into them and they apologize. A situation isn't their fault, yet they still take the blame. It feels polite on the surface, but underneath, there's something much deeper going on. Here's the psychology behind people who apologize too much. Number one, they learned it as a survival strategy. For many people, over-apologizing didn't just appear overnight, it was learned. Growing up in environments where conflict was frequent or emotions were unpredictable, they discovered something powerful. Apologizing diffuses tension. Even if they weren't wrong, saying sorry made things calmer, safer. Psychologists call this a fawn response, a coping mechanism where you prioritize pleasing others to avoid conflict or rejection. Over time, this becomes automatic. Their brain connects apologizing with staying safe. So now, even in normal situations, they apologize without thinking. Not because they're guilty, but because their mind is trying to protect them. Number two, they have a heightened sense of responsibility. Some people feel responsible for everything. The mood in the room, the comfort of others, even problems they didn't create. This is often linked to high empathy and emotional intelligence. They're extremely aware of how others feel, sometimes too aware. So when something goes wrong, their brain quickly asks, "Did I cause this? Could I have prevented it?" And even when the answer is no, they still say sorry. This is connected to something called personalization, a cognitive distortion where you take responsibility for things outside your control. It's not that they're weak, it's that they feel deeply and sometimes carry emotional weight that isn't theirs. Number three, they fear rejection more than being wrong. For some people, apologizing is not about admitting fault, it's about maintaining connection. Deep down, they may have a fear of abandonment or rejection, so they do whatever it takes to keep relationships smooth, even if that means shrinking themselves. Saying sorry becomes a social tool, a way to avoid arguments, avoid disapproval, avoid being disliked. In psychology, this is linked to people-pleasing behavior and anxious attachment styles. They think, if I don't apologize, maybe they'll leave. If I upset them, maybe I'll lose them. So they choose peace over truth, even when that peace costs them their own voice. Number four, they struggle with self-worth. Here's a deeper layer. People who over-apologize often don't feel fully confident in their own value. They may unconsciously believe, "I'm a burden, I take up too much space, I should make things easier for others." So they apologize just for existing. Even in situations where they deserve understanding, they're the ones asking for forgiveness. This connects to low self-esteem and something called imposter syndrome, where you feel like you don't truly deserve your place, even when you do. Apologizing becomes a way to justify their presence, a way to soften themselves in a world they feel they don't fully belong in. Number five, it becomes a habit their brain can't switch off. At a certain point, over-apologizing isn't even conscious anymore. It's automatic. Like saying in a sentence, or checking your phone without thinking. The brain builds patterns through repetition, and when sorry becomes a default response, it gets wired into everyday communication, even in neutral situations, even in positive ones. You'll hear it in sentences like, "Sorry, can I ask a question? Sorry, just one more thing. Sorry for bothering you." When in reality, they're not bothering anyone. This is where behavioral conditioning comes in. The brain rewards familiar patterns even if they're unnecessary, so the habit continues, quietly shaping how they see themselves. Now, here's the important part. Apologizing is not a bad thing. It shows empathy, humility, and emotional awareness. But when it becomes excessive, it starts to erase boundaries, it minimizes your presence, and it teaches others that you'll take blame even when you shouldn't. The real shift happens when someone realizes this. Not everything is your fault. Not every situation needs your apology, and your value doesn't come from keeping everyone else comfortable. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is not sorry, but nothing at all. Or, even better, say what you mean without shrinking it. Because confidence isn't loud, it's quiet certainty that you deserve space, just like anyone else. If you related to this, you're not alone, and becoming aware of it is the first step to changing it. Subscribe for more psychology insights that decode human behavior and help you understand not just others, but yourself.